Hello and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. There's all kinds of family, we chose this one. It's episode 170, Lady Snowblood from 1973. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe too, and this episode's brought to you by Cool Snow. cool-snow.company.uk that apparently sells paddle boards. Shout out to Cool Snow. Ski goggles too, but it seems like mostly paddle boards.
Well, that's much cooler. Well, welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. We have a bonus week this week, not to the main feed, but to the Patreon feed. We are doing Lady Snowblood today, right here on the main feed. This is what you're listening to. And then on our Patreon, we're doing Lady Snowblood Love Song of Vengeance, aka Lady Snowblood 2. Ooh. So we got a double dose of 70s samurai Japanese cinema coming at you this week. But before we talk about Lady Snowblood, before we take a break, Joe, extracurricular activities, what have you been up to since we last spoke?
Nothing super much. Just been chilling. I'm getting ready to go visit my parents this weekend. It's my dad's birthday this weekend, so I'm going to head down there.
Happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday to him. Oh, like we are so deep into Gold Show, dude. We are like miles. We hit bedrock. We're deep in the Gold Show.
Have they found gold yet?
Yes, they have. I mean, we're on season 4, so we've been blowing through this thing because it's just like great background TV to like not actually pay attention to.
Sure.
It took them about 3 full seasons before they started getting some gold, and they were still totally fucking it up. Now there's like, different plants type situation, right? There's like different crews, so you're following kind of 3 crews right now. Yeah, it's still super fascinating, but there's still a bunch of morons. They went to South America in season 4, and They're mining gold and diamonds, and they've never mined diamonds, and they barely know how to mine gold, so
now it's Diamond Show?
No, not really. I mean, they're not really finding much of either, so it's still Gold Show.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's what I've been up. What else? Oh, we watched Raya and the Last Dragon.
Okay, very cool.
Disney movie.
It's a $30 premium on Disney Plus. Yep.
Don't pay the $30. I mean, it was decent, but it was not a $30 premium movie.
Right. Yeah, it'll be free on Disney Plus probably in 4 or 5 months, I would guess. But yeah, it's right now it's the premiere access or whatever they call it.
I would recommend waiting until it's free. It was cute, but it wasn't like mind-blowing. You know what I mean? Like we've had some like Big Hero 6 and stuff like that we're like, oh my god, this was great. This was cute.
Anything else of note, or has that basically been it?
That's basically been it. There's a Penguin game tonight. That's it. Did the Pirates finish this no-hitter they were just pitching? They were just pitching a no-hitter.
Oh, I have no idea. I have not watched a single inning of baseball. I've just seen some highlights on Twitter. Oh, well, that's the Pirates for you.
Yeah, I know. They won 10-1.
Well, that's pretty cool. I am almost done with Eastbound and Down. In the most recent episodes, at the end of the season, or the end of the series, Stevie has those blue contact lenses because Kenny convinces him to up his sexual game to make his wife more interested in him again. Okay. And I only bring this up because in the most recent episode that I watched, Kenny says, those blue contacts are really working wonders for you. You got those Paul Walker eyes.
Oh!
So I thought that was a pretty on-brand
That's pretty cool, and I didn't notice that when I watched it, so good call.
But yeah, I'm enjoying that. I think I have 3 more episodes left, so I'm almost done there. Seinfeld and Simpsons still going. You
watched a good Simpsons. You watched a good Seinfeld.
I watched The Parking Garage, yeah. I didn't love it as much as the Chinese restaurant, but I did enjoy it. I was saying to you that, because you responded to my thing on Twitter about Joey Finally Watches, and I was like, I think the best episodes so far have been the ones like what they traditionally, or I don't know if they called it back then, but like the bottle episodes, right? Where it's like generally TV shows to save money are like, hey, we're going to spend this entire thing at one place, so we're going to save money on locations and setups and whatever, and so they're just spending this entire thing in this parking garage looking for Kramer's car.
Yep.
It's very funny, and I was saying that I think what works well for the show so far, and I think this actually kind of in a way goes into what you were saying, when they're stuck in a place, they have to focus more on character. And so instead of just being like, oh my God, can you believe that like there's a dog in my apartment that's like barking and eating things? It's like, well, okay. Like they're all just like, they all have a very specific thing that they're trying to solve. Like Jerry has to pee and Elaine wants to save the fish, and Kramer just wants to put the box down, and George is trying to meet his parents. And like you were saying that your favorite episodes are when they coalesce into like something great at the end, but it feels of a kind sort of similar in that way here, I think.
It is. But I think as they go, you're getting closer to the ones that are like for completely unique weirdo storylines, and then like somehow there's a through line that they like show you at the end. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Sure.
it was all one guy, or whatever, like this kind of thing. The parking garage one is great though because Michael Richards demanded that they actually put an air conditioner in that box.
Oh, okay.
So that he had the heft of it like
Sure.
for the episode, and that like shooting television isn't him carrying this for 20 minutes.
No, right, yes.
It's him carrying it for like 6 hours.
And he puts it down halfway through, but he's still carrying it for like 8 or 10 minutes of the episode.
Yeah, so beginning, like when he's like jostling it, there's like an air conditioner in there, right? And it's like, you're like, oh wow, like look at him pretending like he's no, they just put a real air conditioner in there, and like an old air conditioner. So that's like one of my favorite
That's
little
pretty
tidbits.
funny.
Yeah.
What else? I started watching last night. I'd been meaning to, or I've been planning to start this for a while, but I finally watched the first Bond movie, which is Dr. No, which we brought up recently because I don't remember. I looked it up last night, but there was a car that we recently did that Jerry sent through that Bond drives in it.
It's the car that was built in Wolverhampton, like the Sunfire or something. Remember?
Oh yeah, the Moonbeam.
Moonbeam.
Sunbeam. Yes. It's okay. It's not bad. Everybody seems to suggest that like it's good. It's not great. Like you would be. I think if you just see this movie without knowing what it becomes, you're like, this is gonna have 25 sequels. Like it's gonna, like that's going to, you know what I mean? Like it's one of those kind of like. But it's okay. So apparently the next one, From Russia with Love, is a great one.
Yeah,
but this first one, Dr. No, is okay. So I started that. I watched that last night, and I watched for the first time in its entirety over the weekend Major League, which I had never seen before, which I'd seen parts of.
Really?
Because that was one that my dad would be like, hey, come in and watch the scene, but like your mom doesn't want you watching the whole thing or whatever. So like I'd come in and like watch like some scene out of context or whatever and be like, okay. I never had an urgency to watch it because I always assumed that I had seen it, but I didn't. And I was like, oh, like there's a lot of Ted Lasso in here in the premise. Because like in the opening of Ted Lasso, the first episode, you find out that the owner is this woman. She's the new owner of the team because she got it in the divorce from her husband. It's the only thing in the world that he loves more than just like cheating on her. And so she wants to burn the franchise to the ground. And so in Major League, as you know, like the woman, she doesn't hate the franchise, but she hates Cleveland and wants to move it to Miami, which now there's a team in Miami, of course. She's just trying to have the team do terribly. Like it's the same, like how can I sabotage my own team to a personal selfish end, but a different reason for doing that, right? So I was like, oh, this is very Ted Lasso, and then the team rebounds and either does well enough or doesn't do well enough. I'm not going to spoil the two things for you, but
if you haven't seen you're hiding spoilers from Major League.
Well, no, I'm more so hiding spoilers for Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso,
but
okay.
Yeah. The reason I watched Major League is because I was talking to my one friend Matt, who's in our baseball league, about Eastbound and Down. I was just saying, like Kenny, like it's very funny, but like Kenny Powers, like Danny McBride, has like the absolute worst wind-up and delivery of a pitcher in baseball, and like any baseball movie or TV show. Like it's just awful.
Yeah.
I was like, because it looks like me trying to throw lefty. Like it's just like this is not how things are supposed to look. We were talking about other movies and TV show because like Eastbound and Down gets certain things right about baseball because like apparently the creators of that show said that we never actually wanted this to be about we never want to show you anything on the field.
Yeah, there's never a game.
Well, like if you remember, like every time that Kenny comes in as the closer, he throws 3 pitches. They're all strikes. It's a strikeout, and he gets a save. It's like a 1-out save every time he throws 3 pitches. It's like this is not how baseball works.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Apparently, like they wanted to do like a show around baseball, but like none of them really knew baseball, and so they just were just they had to add more or whatever. So we started talking about other baseball stuff or whatever, and like what made me really want to watch Major League quicker is because my friend Matt said that Charlie Sheen actually did steroids to make the movie, and I was like, what?
Oh my
God,
so really?
He was like he was a pitcher in high school, and he could throw like in the low 80s, but then did steroids for the role and like got his fastball up to the upper 80s. In Major League standards, not great, but like for just a normal dude, like not a baseball player, like really, really good.
Yeah.
And also considering it's like almost 35 years ago now, strength training, conditioning training has changed so much that like that's really actually impressive. But his delivery is legitimately good. And I was like, okay, like some baseball stuff in that movie doesn't exactly make sense. Like I don't know if he's like the long reliever and the closer, but I was impressed by like just the baseball of it all in Major League, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very, very cool. I didn't know about the steroid story.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's really wild. Like that shows you how prevalent steroids were in baseball. I mean, they were, but just like for you to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to play a baseball player in a movie, like I should probably do steroids.
Yeah, like I wonder how do you like get that? Like I guess you have like a
doctor,
but like what doctor's gonna prescribe you for a role? Like that's crazy. Like I didn't think about the actual logistics of it.
There's shady people everywhere, so
oh sure, yeah,
it's not unheard of.
True. And the only other update since last time, just because I was talking about the last episode, I finished the Spider-Man game and now into Miles Morales. And what's really cool about Miles Morales, like it just seems like a more streamlined, fun, prettier version of the Spider-Man game.
Okay.
Different story altogether. But like you can wear the Spider-Verse outfit, which is great. And you can also have these like kind of cartoon comic like pow wham stuff like come up on screen when you hit guys, which is really cool.
That's very cool.
There's even one that like I tried and turned off almost immediately because it was like messing with my brain. Like it's not stop motion, but like you know how when that movie like it doesn't look like, it looks like a comic book, like it doesn't look like smooth, like it's
Yes.
like it's smooth but it's not smooth. Like you could do that in the game. And I was like, oh, this looks so like it's amazing that they recreated it, but I'm like, this is not how I want to play this game. Like because you're swinging around the city and just like kind of jittery but like purposefully jittery, and I'm like, this is so weird.
Yeah,
cool.
That's very strange. I don't think my brain would like that either. Like
No.
in the movie it works, but if I was like playing and moving myself, I think I'd get nauseous or something.
And also, like, I just spent probably like 30 or 40 hours playing the first Spider-Man game, and like, not saying that this is the same game because it's not, but like, it's essentially like a refined version of that, and like, I don't need that kind of like, hey, deal with this now, right? So
Yeah.
like, you know. Oh boy. Anyway, we have a Patreon page on the show, toofast2forever.com. Shout out to Cassie Wilson, Jake Freer, Ben Milliman, Nick Burris, Alex Ellen, and Justin Kleiman, Brian Rodriguez of High School Slumber Party, Haley Gerbies, Wes Hampton, Christian Larson, Jerry Robinson, Dan the Duke Hayden, Renato DiDonato, and Jessica Collins, a.k.a. Montez. Thank you all so much for supporting us at the $5 level or above. If you want to get in on the fun, get some stickers, pick some stuff for us to watch, get access to minute documents. We are starting the Too Fast, Too Furious minute this episode.
Today.
So if you want access to all of that, toofast2forever.com. In addition to everybody over there, not just the $5 level and above, but everybody gets the bonus episodes monthly, as well as early access to the regular episodes usually on Friday morning, Friday afternoon. So if you don't want to wait till Tuesday, if you want to get in with the cool kids, toofast2forever.com. We also have an email address, family@cageclub.me, and Joe, we have 3 emails today.
Okay.
First up from Montez, subject line, small updates.
Small update. Small. Very small.
She says, I'm still listening, just a little slower than I was last month.
Okay.
I just made it to the Crossroads episode, and this is by far my favorite episode. It's cool that you guys interviewed someone who basically made the game as a labor of love, which is what you're doing with this podcast. Stay safe, Montez.
That's very sweet. Yes, the Crossroads episode, I love that episode. Andy was just a cool guest, so
Yeah.
I'm glad that you caught up there. Yeah, that's always like my pick for like most exciting. But now we interviewed Linda Boyd too, so
Truly special. I do think it's funny, and I know that like Montez has like her job is crazy and she's been dealing with stuff, whatever, but like we finally slow down and she slows down. Like it's not like she could ever like make up the ground, right? It's just like
yeah, I know what you mean.
if
Yeah,
she had left the pedal to the metal for like another month, not that you would want to, like that's a lot of time to listen to just our nonsense, but like she could have caught up, but you know, we slow down, she slows down. So it's just like
all on the same, she's part of the family world.
she's drafting, right? She's just like riding in our jet stream or whatever.
She is, yeah, that's true.
Our second email from today is from Alex Ellen, and subject line, girls that big spoon deserve their stimulus check first.
That's very true. I'm always Little Spoon. I'm always.
He says, I'll admit that was a retweet, not an Alex original. So
It's okay.
says we started watching Good Girls with Christina Hendricks, Retta, and Mae Whitman, and had an unexpected fast connection. Christina Hendricks' character has some family issues with her husband and previously left all their finances to him, but decides to take that stuff over. She demands the passwords for all the accounts. Her husband, played by Matthew Lillard, says, it's Too Fast, Too Furious, with a 2, like the movie.
Nice. That's good. I like that.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
That's the entire email.
No, that's a really good. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I feel like there was a Kenny Powers. Now that you were talking about Eastbound and Down, I feel like there was like a Kenny Powers password joke at some point in the show.
That's a very good question.
It
Maybe?
feels. I don't know if it just feels like Kenny Powers' like password is boobs, but it feels like Kenny Powers' password is boobs or something, right?
Very possibly. I think, yeah. I don't know. Maybe. Okay. Feels like it may have been season 1. Also, by the way, with 3 episodes to go, I think it's the season 4 is now devolving once again into the like Kenny is a terrible person kind of thing, but like I still think season 4 is probably my favorite.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
I think 4, 2, 1, 3 right now is my power ranking with 3 episodes to go, but we'll find out. We'll see if it sticks around.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you. By the next episode, I will know for sure. And our last email today from Wells Lamont, very tame subject line for Wells, Fast and Furious stuff.
Okay. Oh, Fast and Furious stuff. Cool.
He says, in Heather's defense, or Fast Five's defense, whichever one is a needed defense for Heather not liking it, probably the movie needs defending, but I love Heather's point of view, so I choose to defend her take against her take. Okay.
Okay.
I kind of follow that. What made Fast Five so great was its timing and placement in the franchise. For people like myself who started from the very beginning, we got a great first movie that we watched and enjoyed and thought nothing more. Then they gave us a goofy, random second movie the following year that didn't have much to do with the first and was completely different. Then we had a third movie with all new characters in a whole new country. At the time, I wasn't the biggest fan. Then they tried to take the series back with a fourth one, which is dark and not ideal for a comeback movie, and it's no one's favorite, parentheses. I say this obviously, with them all being the greatest movies of all time. I'm just comparing them to each other. We all know this.
We all know this. We all know this.
On a personal level, I was in this thing solo. I had no friends that were ready for the franchise yet, and no Too Fast, Too Forever family to discuss anything with. So after 4F comes out, I'm thinking, well, at least we're back with the crew, and then boom, Fast 5 comes out. Now after 4 and before 5, I started making my friends watch these with me while I gave legendary commentary that made them all, at the very least, intrigued. So 5's out, we go 2 cars deep to the drive-in. Always a great time. A brand new Fast movie that was different in such a good way. It had The Rock, it had action, it had comedy, and many more reasons as to why my bros and I had raging, mega, huge boners for it. The essence of Fast 5 was the build-up over the years, and with its executional perfection and masterful ending, it became the movie of the franchise. I completely understand Heather's disliking of Dom, however, and I've heard this from more than just her. Usually, it stems from thinking he's not a good actor, but I have heard that he's, quote, no fun, and has an annoying voice, too. Anyway, hope you guys have Heather back on soon. She was great. Well, she's not going anywhere. Like, she's been on the whole lap.
Maybe to Wells's point, we should have made Heather, like fridge the podcast for like 4 years or whatever, however long it was in between 4 and 5.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, if you put it down for 2 years and then you come back, you'd be like, whoa, okay, yeah, that's way better than I remember.
Yeah, it is like a sprint, right? Like that's, I think of the bunch, I think Kara probably. Do you think Kara had the highest overall satisfaction with them? Like, Nico and Kevo liked them, but I feel like overall Kara might have liked them more than Nico and Kevo.
I think Kara got into it most. I think so.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, I mean, it's a lot. It's easier to rewatch. Like, if we were watching new movies every week, it's a different thing altogether. But, like, it's kind of like a rest up, recharge, find a couple things to talk about for us each week.
Yes. Yeah.
But taking in 9 movies over 17 weeks or whatever, that's a lot that you have to be, like, on for and enjoying. And if you're not enjoying the ride, it's tough.
Yeah, then get out of the car, right?
Seriously. Well says, I watched 3F in Spanish the other day, and Sean and Han had this exchange, and it's dubbed so poorly, it was hilarious. It was a scene where Han makes Sean get his money from the big Japanese dude with the claw tattoo.
Yes.
Not the best movie to watch in Spanish because of the dubbing and mouths being off, but it was entertaining for sure. Another movie so well, it was almost like I understood Spanish. Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I sometimes I like to watch things in different languages too. We've been getting you know what we've been getting on TV lately, in like the middle of Gold Show and stuff, or maybe in the middle of like Prison Girlfriends or something. We were getting commercials for Lucky Charms in Spanish, and it's like wild. Like it's because it's not his voice, right?
Sure.
They do like the whole thing in Spanish, and then at the end they go, "They're magically delicious," and that's it. And then it rolls. I was like, whoa. My brain did not like that. I'm glad I'm not on drugs right now, because that was very strange.
If you want to really freak yourself out, just think about like the audition of like finding a guy to be the guy who's already the guy who is the thing, right?
The Spanish language, a leprechaun. Yeah.
Well says, I assume you got into the part in Eastbound and Down where Kenny smashes the donut. So I just got there. So yes. Did you die laughing like I did? The part where he's denying it is really where I died. It was way too funny. Do you remember that or no?
No. Tell me what happened.
So at season 4, this is close to your heart. He is working at a car rental agency.
Okay.
And he is just hating his life. And at one point he goes in and just smashes every donut. And his manager's like, "Did you smash all the donuts?" He says, "No, like I ate a part of one donut." But like the guy's like, "That's not what I'm talking about. Somebody went in there and smashed all the donuts." He just like keep, like a big kid, just keeps denying it. So like my friend Matt, who I mentioned before, who also loves Eastbound and Down, was like, "Did you get to the donut part yet?" So I guess this donut part is a very legendary, memorable, funny thing.
I need to go rewatch it.
I think it's season 4, episode 1. I think.
I'm sure if you search Kenny Powers smashes the
also
donuts,
yep.
Yeah, I can find it. He does so much dumb shit like the whole time. The outtake was there outtakes in the season of like the first one, like when Will Ferrell and him are at the dealership?
I didn't see them. They might be bonus things on HBO Max. They're probably on YouTube, but I don't think they're it's not like there's a credit scene. I don't think where it's like bloopers or whatever.
Okay.
He's writing the screenplay at one point where he's just like, and then over the credits, there's bloopers from whatever. He's just like, hilarious. Like he writes in there, hilarious. So
There is definitely a video somewhere that I saw, maybe on YouTube, of like what Craig Robinson, Kenny Powers, and Will Ferrell. They're just doing that scene, and like Will Ferrell's improvising, and like nobody can keep a straight face. Like they're all just like breaking the entire time.
Wells goes on 6F was on a marathon today, and all 3 times I came across it was the same part where Han and Roman are getting their butts kicked by the bad guy. Coincidence? I think so.
I'm sure it was across 3 channels too, because sometimes that happens to us. Like TNT will be playing 2, but like USA will be playing 4, and someone else will be playing 6.
Okay, bros, I'm a peace out. I'll see you players next time. P.S. The interview with Linda Boy was fantastic. I loved it. That's pretty cool you guys got her on the show. Always good to hear a POV from someone in the movie and the industry. Can't wait till you have on The Rock and Han or No News Denise. Maybe Linda was No News Denise.
The plot thickens. Maybe she was No News Denise.
Cool. Well, that's all the emails for today. If you want to email us, family@cageclub.me. Send us a note, and we will read it on the next episode, which will be on the main feed, Tokyo Drift. If you get it in time. Or if not, the next one, or the next one, or the next one, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't really matter.
Joe, on the streets, news about the Fast and Furious. There's a couple of things that we have, big things that basically came out between the time that we recorded and released last time, but F9 has a new date.
Yeah, it got pushed back to June. So
June 25, Friday the 25th, about a month back, 4 weeks back, I think, from the existing Memorial Day date, but like, okay, like I don't know. Okay, sure.
I don't know if that's gonna stick. It feels safer with vaccines rolling out, so that's good. I don't know if June's gonna stick. We have to see how things go, but it's more optimistic. I did not think that May was gonna happen. I just didn't feel it. It just wasn't.
How do you feel about June sticking?
Better. We need like time for them to like, but I don't know. But like all these states like fucking Texas and Florida doing dumb shit. Like
I do.
Yeah, they're just like, yeehaw, we're open. And if they like get more cases, and recently, like I have a friend that just got COVID like last week, so it's not like it's gone.
Like it feels like we're near the end, but we're not near the end, right? So
because they're cranking out vaccines, right? We're getting closer to herd immunity, which is good. But at the same time, like they're pre-opening shit, so the people that don't have the vaccines.
Yeah. We also got news from Jason Dickinson that there are Hobbs and Shaw sequels, multiple sequels planned, and they have begun writing or working on the first sequel, so Hobbs and Shaw 2, I guess, or whatever it'll be called.
We thought that it was confirmed for sure, though, right? Wasn't it?
We knew that there was one confirmed. I don't think that we knew that there were going to be multiple confirmed, but it seems like this is the case, and that they finally started working on the second one. So
yeah, that's cool. I'm down for another.
So I would guess maybe 2 years, maybe, right? Like
that seems like a timeline, right? Because we were doing 1 and 1, 1 and 1.
So if 9 is this year, and then 10, and then 11, I don't know. I don't know when they would factor it in. I don't know if they would do like a Marvel where it's like more than one release in a year.
Nah,
it seems like not. So maybe if they do, maybe Hobbs and Shaw 2 in 24, but that feels crazy far out. I don't know.
It was a year and a year, so it would be like 2020 this year. They would release it 2020, or is it 2021? Okay, so 2022. Hobbs and Shaw, and then Fast 9 was supposed to come out the year after. Because we were on like a 1-year schedule.
9 is done. I don't know if they've started shooting 10. I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea.
I don't think so. They're waiting for this one to come out before they even try to start the next one, so I think.
Okay. And then one other little bit of news that I knew last time we recorded, but I forgot. But Ludacris got his pilot's license. His
pilot's license? He's an airline pilot now?
I don't know if it's airline, but he can fly airplanes. Yeah,
that's cool. It seems appropriate for us, actually. When did he? Yeah. Why did he do that? I mean, I guess if you're like rich and you have the fucking Fast and Furious money, like why not? I would do it. Yeah.
Nice pandemic hobby, learning how to fly.
It's kind of quarantined. You need like one guy with you, right? Like you have like an instructor. I'm sure you could do like most of it on like a flight simulator, right? Like learn. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really dope quarantine hobby to pick up.
Is there any other news that you have seen about the franchise since we last recorded an episode?
No.
There is no episode of Young Rock this week, or I guess as you're listening to this last week. I don't know why. I think we looked and there's like just extra episodes of The Voice. Maybe The Voice is returning, or I don't know, but Episode 4 will come out the day this episode comes out on the 16th. So watch tonight on NBC or tomorrow on Hulu, and we'll cover that in the next episode. But again, it's just like, it seems weird that, what feels like a kind of a big deal for a show, maybe it's not, I don't know, but with The Rock in it and The Rock's name in it, for them to be like, okay, you had 3, like a nice little run of 3. Like, let's just, pump the brakes and throw some Adam Levine. I don't know if he's still on The Voice. I would assume so, but
I saw somebody tweet that they were like very angry about the voice. There was a tweet, and the tweet was like, The Voice is the worst show ever. They've never produced anybody good. And I was like, what brought this anger into your heart? Like your heart?
People are angry about a lot of things online, man.
I know, but like to use your parlance, like, why are we gangbanging over The Voice? Like, what is it?
True.
Like, what? Just
I also want to clarify, that's not my parlance. It's me quoting Cat Williams, but also
yes. But like, you used it recently, and I was like, this is what I was thinking about. Yeah, I saw somebody just like raging about The Voice on Twitter, and I was like, cool. I mean, people still watch it. It's been on for fucking 15 seasons or whatever, so yell at them, not The Voice. Like, what does it matter?
I will tell you, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. Other than just people are angry about things, and whether they're actually angry about The Voice or other things, they're just venting at The Voice. I don't know. But my parents watch like all those shows a lot.
Okay.
And I know that they have said that they like the actual show The Voice a lot more, but American Idol is the one that has created at least like a handful. Like, Kelly Clarkson was huge, and Carrie Underwood was huge, and like, a couple other people probably were pretty big too, right? So I don't know.
It's probably the most successful version of this.
I don't know. It does feel like I can't name a single person who's won The Voice, right?
I mean, the person had a point. It was just like, there's a lot of anger behind it.
Sure.
And I was like, you could be like, oh, wow, man, I don't know anybody that's won The Voice. And you'd be like, that would have conveyed the exact same message without you being angry about it. Like,
right.
Cool.
Yeah. It's like they do like 3 seasons a year. I think that's an exaggeration. I think they do like 2 seasons per year. Like, I think they're in like season 17. They've been around for like 8 years. It's something crazy like that, right? And like, I don't know. I don't even know. I mean, I don't know who the judges are. I think it's maybe Blake Shelton, maybe Gwen Stefani. They might be. I think might be a Jonas Brother on there now. I don't know. And this is
Christina
all because
Aguilera was on one of them. I forget which one
that's The
that
Voice
was.
also. But I don't think they have like 8 judges, so I don't know who's not on the show anymore.
Yeah.
Katy Perry's on American Idol. I know that.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
But anyway, no Young Rock. That's why we talked about this.
Yeah.
No Young Rock.
No Young Rock.
That was your The Voice Roundup segment.
If I ever did a Voice Roundup segment, I would be disappointed in myself. For all the shitty TV I watch, this is not.
The last thing to do before we take a break and talk about Lady Snowblood is the Fast and Furious Minute. Finally, big news. We are doing Too Fast, Too Furious, a minute I called Road Closed. So in this minute, the Universal logo enters, gets chromed out, and becomes a rim on a car. A group of 7 in the back of a pickup truck drops off cones and a road closed sign to begin closing off an area for a race and car show. 2 motorcycles speed down the street on their back tires, wheelie style, as onlookers enjoy the show. So Joe, here we are. We've got Like a Pimp on the Flow by David Banner playing. We got no real dialogue here, but this is such a step up from, I mean, not that it's any doubt, but like from the turbocharged prelude to this, like it's a whole other ballgame.
A completely different ballgame, to the point where even when I was like about to do this episode, Rachel was excited for me that we made it into Too Fast this episode. She was like, oh, are you starting Too Fast for the minute today? I was like, yes. And she was like, cool, very cool. World's different. It's not a YouTube video. It's pixelated and stuff. I was like, wow, I could see things. This was good. The colors were already neon. It was just so refreshing. It's like taking a nice first drink.
And it's such a sweet drink.
Yeah, it's going to be all-timer tonight, for sure.
So there's a lot of noteworthy clothing I want to point out. The first guy, like we see in the back of the truck, there's like the 7 dudes in the back of the pickup truck, and there's the 2. There's a guy in the passenger seat and the guy driving.
Yeah.
One guy's got a polo shirt with like crazy design on the back and a couple different shades of purple on the shirt. Noteworthy with the white pants. There's a girl with a cowboy hat and a red tank top with a gold horseshoe and black pants with silver studs.
Very weird. The cowboy outfit for Miami, I don't know if that totally fits. Was there like a cowboy? Maybe we have to call Kara. Was there like a cowboy renaissance in fashion at some point in the
I don't know,
2000s?
man.
Maybe you know what? Maybe there was now that I think about it. It's probably like in some music. I feel like there was like a Britney Spears cowboy music video at some point.
Well, she had the video, the movie Crossroads, right? But I don't know when that came out.
Oh,
Hold on.
that's right.
That movie came out in 2002, so it could have been out, but I don't know if they were cowboys. I might just be,
Yeah. I mean like girls with like cowboy hats as fashion. That sounds about right.
Well, speaking of hats, the other person I want to bring up were the two girls with the very early 2000s hats and their long, bare legs that just sit down in the back of the car. One is like a fedora and one is like a weird kind of hat. I don't know what question, because like the last time we did the minute document, we started with easier questions and just like, what name's inside of the truck? Like it says Rogers, right? So like that's for diehards. This is an easier question. But this, I'm just like, well, maybe we start off with a real slap in the face. So one of these girls is wearing a very, very tiny pink crop top with red lips and red text that says hot lips. Also of note, she's wearing a gold or maybe rose gold belly chain around her waist. Like, Kara, if you have not seen this woman, watch the first minute. About 50 or 55 seconds in, these two women show up, and I'm like, this is a whole lot of outfits this early in the movie. And so, we'll get to the question later, but I'm like, maybe we do maybe hot lips is the answer, because like hot lips is a pretty good trivia answer, I think.
I didn't even see that, and I was watching the minute at your speed, so
it's very tough.
That's very
tough.
Difficult.
But there are lots of cars in this minute. Joe, what have you noticed? What did you catch this time around in the first minute of Too Fast, Too Furious?
Something that I noticed, it's like a little like cast for later. The truck is like the same Dodge Ram that they use later to like push the police cars out of the way.
Okay, cool.
And the other cool, I just have like a lot of car things, but the other cool car thing is at the very end of this minute, there's a BMW and like the first sticker, because like there actually wasn't a lot, there's like goofy paint jobs on these, but there's not a lot of decals, like word decals type things.
Like there were a lot in the first movie, right?
Yeah, like there was like a lot in the first movie, but this first, like there's a BMW that's like backing into a parking spot. The one sticker that you see in this minute is it says Street Glow, and I sent you the link earlier, so like it's not exciting for you right now. I linked to Street Glow, and if you go to the Street Glow website, streetglow.com, one of the first things on the homepage is you can buy the original Gold Series Neon Undercar kit, and it specifically says, as seen in the Fast and the Furious.
They're like, hey, this is the thing. You are in the right place. If this is why you are here, this is the one to buy.
Yes, exactly. And I was like, oh, this is actually really, really cool. And like, it's like the whole undercar lighting kit, and you can change the colors and whatever. So I was like, that's really, I don't want this specifically. I think it's really cool. Every time I see undercars, like underlights, I think that it's really, really cool, but you need to have it on a car that is already Fast and the Furious.
You can't just throw it on the go-kart or the Honda Pilot or my Cruise. It's just like, no, what are you doing? Stop it.
Yeah, you can't, you're making a big statement when you have under lights, right? Like, this is not the first thing we saw here. So, yeah.
Right. And like, there's a lot. I mean, I said that there's a lot. There's just mostly just a lot of cars and stuff like that. But given that this is we obviously break it down by minutes, but like the first like 20 or 30 seconds of this is just a Universal logo. So like, there's a lot to see just in 30 or 40 seconds. And some of the minutes in the Turbocharged Prelude, there was more to talk about than less. But like, it's definitely a step in the right direction. That like, oh yeah, there's actually things to talk about here.
I agree. I couldn't find where this place was. I don't know what this. Maybe I should have asked Wells to translate this for me because it's in Spanish. He might have understood it. I found what the sign says on the side of the building, but I don't know Spanish enough to know what that means. Did you just translate it for me?
I sure did. It says Body Shop and Paint, Miami, low prices.
Okay, so I was Googling that thinking that might have been the name of the business, and I got a whole list of body shops in Spanish.
Didn't you run into that same thing in the first movie? I don't remember what it was, but you were like Googling, you're like, this has got to be the name of the thing. It's just like fish tacos or something, right? Like in Mexico, maybe?
Yes, that's what it was.
Your lack of Spanish language knowledge is really holding you back in this one very specific element of this.
I know. My sister was a Spanish major, so like I'm always tempted to like call her, but this is like the most bullshit. And like also the words, like I don't think that these are like really things you would learn as a Spanish major, right? Like you're like, oh, body shop. Like that's not like a word you would use unless you're like a native.
Yeah, I got D Miami, like of Miami in
Yeah,
Miami.
I got that
part,
too.
but yeah, the other ones I don't know.
I can't find where this place is because it's just a body shop and paint center for low prices in Miami.
That is fine.
I was trying to find the street, and that's what I come up with. But I got what it says. So I have a fun idea about the question for this minute.
Okay.
And I think we should start off on a little easier foot. And
That's probably for the best. Sure, go ahead.
Feel me out here. How do you feel about swapping the title of this minute to Hot Lips and making the question, what's the sign that you see? What's the first sign you see in this movie? Do you like that idea or don't like that idea?
Sure, okay.
Because you see it, it's big on screen. It could be anything, but it's one specific thing. Yes, these are perfect. These are absolutely perfect.
So what is the first traffic sign that is visible in Too Fast, Too Furious? We got road closed, which is also like streets closed, Pizza Boy.
Yep.
Stop, yield, and we need one more. What's one more sign that we could use?
No right turn on red. Oh, no, but no right on red is only specifically in Pennsylvania, right?
No, that's in New Jersey too.
Okay.
Look, this is an easy one. We can have a dumb answer in there. We can have a regional answer in there.
Okay.
It's fine. It's our quiz. Let it ride.
It is. But I think that, like, I know that this is going to get real wild. Let's not set the bar too high too early, right?
Oh, speaking of, I will drop this in now. I think this Thursday, so this past Thursday as this comes out, we will have begun our March Madness bracket. I don't know that we have a finalized idea yet. We have one idea that we're kicking around. We've not really talked about it yet.
Yes.
But if you go to cageclub.me/bracket, it might be there. So if you like voting on nonsense stuff, speaking about regional affectations and dialects and whatever, and just regional stuff in general, yeah, cageclub.me/bracket. And round 2 will probably be open now for everyone, or round 1 for Patreon listeners. So even more reason to sign up for the Patreon. Never miss a round in the Cage Club brackets.
It's the first round or 2 rounds are the most fun.
Yeah, because it always gets to a place where, like, it's like, yeah, of course, Salt won. Like,
Salt wins. Salt wins just describes everything.
Our original idea for this year was to do cookies, but we're like, how do we do cookies and just chocolate chip doesn't win? Because it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We get
Peanut butter. It's going to come down to peanut butter versus chocolate chip, and chocolate chip.
Like, we were going to do an entire region of 16 of different kinds of chocolate chip cookies, but, like, even then, it's going to have one of the final 4. It's going to steamroll whatever's in it. And it's just like, yeah, okay.
The way you'd have to do that would be Girl Scout cookies, because it's one Girl Scout cookie season, and there is 16.
Yes. I think we were going to do one region of Girl Scout cookies, one region of chocolate chip, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do something else entirely different. So just keep your eyes peeled on social media and cageclub.me/bracket. And if it's not there, we didn't do it. So, sorry.
No, it's one of my favorite Okay. I hope that you do it just because I find enjoyment in it, and it gets Rachel all
We'll have the form
saucy.
made. We basically have to get the group okay, the consensus okay, and then I will send it out. It's a weird one. It's definitely our weirdest one yet.
Weird one?
It's weird, yeah.
Okay.
All right, Joe, let's take a break, and then let us come back and talk about Lady Snowblood.
Episode number 170, Lady Snowblood. This episode is brought to you by Cool Snow. They spread good style, happy experiences in a service of the highest class, cool-snow.co.uk.
Well, shout out to Cool Snow, and welcome back to Too Fast, Too Forever, kicking off back-to-back episodes about Lady Snowblood. The second episode will be on our Patreon-only feed, so if you want to go to toofast2forever.com to get that, go some Too Fast, Too Forever After Dark. No Brian this time, though. I will say, wink, wink, hint, hint, that April's episode will have Mr. Baseball himself, Brian Rodriguez, on to talk about a movie, which we have not announced yet, but he will be on to talk about a movie in April. So if you want more Brian Late Night Rodriguez, come back on toofast2forever.com. But before that, Joe, Lady Snowblood. So I had a weird sense of deja vu in watching this movie, because you have never seen this movie before,
No,
is that
I've
correct?
never seen this movie, no.
I watched it 3 years ago, and I only know that because I logged it on Letterboxd. While watching it, I was like, am I remembering this because I've seen this movie before, or because, like, Tarantino lifted so much of this for Kill Bill? And I'm like,
Yes.
I don't, like, it was a weird dual layer of Nostalgia a little bit, but deja vu, where I'm like, I don't know what I'm remembering this thing from, but I've seen this before.
It kind of felt like Friday Night Lights a little bit, right?
Varsity Blues.
Varsity Blues, sorry. Yes, that one.
But I've seen, like, I know that I've seen this, so it's not like I had just seen like it's not like Major League or Varsity Blues. It's just like, oh, like I've seen this, but I just don't remember if I've, yeah. But yes. But now you can see why, in a lap about Japanese cinema where we're essentially effectively building toward Kill Bill, we watch something like Lady Snowblood because Kill Bill kind of is Lady Snowblood.
It kind of is exactly Lady Snowblood.
So what did you think of this movie?
I really liked it. And I'm glad that there were some twists that I didn't see coming.
Okay.
I just didn't think they were going to do these things in a movie that's this old the way it was being presented as I was
Okay.
consuming it. Just like based on timing, like I know how long the runtime is, right? Before we watch the movie, I'm like, oh, it's about an hour and a half. They're like getting near the end, and like I look, and then they're like, oh, like the guy shows up and he's like, I'm still alive. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like I thought we were just going to like wrap up. Like I thought like 4 times specifically, they were only going to show you 3 characters, right? And just like the one was dead. It like made sense that they're like he wouldn't be dead, but I was still like, probably, okay, whatever. And so when he came back, I was like, cool, peel the face off mask situation. Totally didn't see that coming. Yeah, there was some like cool twists and turns in here. Sorry, spoilers at the beginning, but yeah.
Yeah, the mask at the end is kind of like a little bit of a game of death. It's like, oh no, that guy was a cake all along. Not actually a cake, but like he was made out of wax.
I wish he was made out of cake. That would have been even funnier.
If they made it today, it would have been made out of cake. Yeah,
It would have.
The other thing to keep in mind about old movies like this is that the runtime kind of fakes you out because if you're like, okay, just say for round numbers, like I started this movie at 6:00,
Yep.
and so I know it's 97 minutes long, so it's going to finish at 7:37. Then you're like, well, it's 7:33. There's credits, but like this, the credits are basically in the beginning or whatever. So like it just runs
You're
right up to the
right.
end. You're like, oh right, oh yeah. Like
This-
I don't have 3 or 4 minutes of credits. It's like there's still 3 or 4 minutes of plot left. So
This totally played into my, oh, we're getting near the end. There's no fourth person. Like, look at the time. And then not remembering that there's not 15 minutes of credits at the end of this, like a
Right.
Fast and the Furious movie. And I'm like, oh shit, no, damn. We went right to the end. So yeah.
So this movie, if you have not seen it, came out in 1973. It tells a story about a thing that happened 100 years earlier in 1873, but I think most of the current timeline is about like 1893, because I think Lady Snowblood herself, the titular Lady Snowblood, was born in like 1873, but she's about 20 as this movie goes on.
Yes, yeah.
The origin story is that her mother and father had a baby boy, and these guys, like this roving gang, was like doing some work on behalf of the emperor or something.
It was like a tax thing, they kept saying.
Yeah, like a shakedown kind of.
There was like a tax to not be drafted or something. They were skimming off the top, it seemed like. That's what I was getting from it.
And so they go at these people in the middle of the field somewhere, and they kill the father, they killed the son, and they attack and rape and like brutally, savage, ravage, whatever, the mom.
Yeah.
And so the mom eventually, she's like, I want to get vengeance on these 4, which is essentially like the Deadly Viper assassination squad. Like it's the people who, shot up, spoilers a little bit for Kill Bill, but like the whole Kill Bill is just getting revenge on like the people who messed up her wedding, right? So it's the same kind of thing where the mom wants to get vengeance on these 4. She kills one of them, but then gets arrested and thrown in prison for life for murder. And so she then spends her days in jail, like seducing and sleeping with every guard she can, so that she can have a child who can then be raised to get vengeance on her behalf.
Which is a wild premise. This part was really, really interesting to me. I was like, damn, that's a really cool plot thing that she's just like, you know what, like I need a child to carry on my vengeance, so I will just like seduce every person that's a male in this prison until I get pregnant. I was like, oh, interesting plot device in 73 or whatever.
So she has a child, and she really wants a son because I think stereotypically, and she's like, boys are stronger, and he's going to be better at vengeance. But instead, she has this girl, and basically, as she's dying, I think, or as she's just saying goodbye, she says, "You will live your life carrying out my vendetta." And I was like, oh boy, pretty tall task to live up to. But then Lady Snowblood herself goes around and like just gets vengeance on her mom, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. For her mom, not on her.
For her mom, yeah, not on her mom, but on her mom's behalf.
Yes. Coolest parts of this movie, and I wish we saw more, for the reason that I think that it's cool, is the like little girl training sessions.
Sure.
I thought those were like super badass, minus the weird child nudity part for no reason.
Yeah. At one point, she just like rips off all her clothes. And just like, why is this happening? I don't
It
know. I mean,
doesn't
she's
make
like
any
8.
sense.
Like it's like it's before. I don't know how to say this without being weird. Like it's before she's
Yes.
old enough for it to be sexual, but it's still like I don't know why we're seeing this.
There's no reason that this should have happened. All the parts leading up to that, where it's like, it's, very Kill Bill training session. She's like an 8-year-old girl. I was like watching those parts and I was like, these are awesome. And I really wish we would get at some point later in the Fast and the Furious, like baby Brian training montage of
Sure.
like being like, you have to seek vengeance for your uncle, or you know what I mean, or whatever. But I was thinking like, if this happened in Fast and the Furious, it would be more like there has to be a scene where like Dom's teaching him how to drive, right? Like that's the ultimate goal of this.
Probably. I hope so.
Like a Tokyo drift montage, but of Dom teaching baby Brian how to like drive manual.
Probably. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That's where my brain was going while I was watching these. But that was like probably my favorite part of this movie. I thought it was really really cool.
Yeah, like I don't want to compare this to Kill Bill the entire time because like
Yeah.
we're going to spoilers, we're going to talk about Kill Bill at the end of the lab, but like she kind of has her own Pai Mei, and I just like that he's like kicking her down the hill in barrels and stuff, just like get down there, girl, and then eventually training her to like jump out before he slices the barrel in half, right? So it's a cool like tough love sort of thing.
Yeah, it was cool. There's a lot of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon jumping in this too, which I wasn't prepared
Sure.
for. I was like, oh shit, because she could just like jump like up a level of a building, or like like a two-story building. She could just jump from the first story to the second story and like land quietly. And I'm like, oh damn.
So she's like what they call an Asura, or the demigod. So she's kind of like there's a lot of like in Japanese culture and lore, there are a lot of women with mythical powers, and I don't know if this is something that's like troubling or problematic in the way that we have like the magical Negro and stuff here. Like I don't know, I don't think it's like that, but like like there's a movie Liza the Fox Fairy that I had that I
Yes.
picked for Film Club a while ago,
Which I loved.
where
Yeah.
it's just like there's these women who like just want to fall in love with men, but they're also fox fairies and they just wind up killing the men and stuff like that. And so there's like all these like women that are so beautiful that they can't possibly just be women. They also have to be like murderous gods or demigods or whatever. And so I mean, that's not great, but I don't know if that's as problematic as other things. But also, maybe I honestly don't know.
I honestly don't know either, but I think it'd be pretty badass. Like, I can't speak on behalf of anyone else, but if I was being portrayed like this, I'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad way to be portrayed, right?
Yeah, it's not like the worst.
Especially considering like that this movie is in the Criterion Collection. There's a Blu-ray that came out with both movies on one disc. Considering that Kill Bill, I don't want to say like revitalize the interest in this, but when Tarantino used the song "Flower of Carnage," which is like the opening credits
Yes,
here,
yes.
which is sung by the lead star Meiko Kaji, it generated such an uptick in popularity for her music that she started recording music again for the first time in like 30 years.
That's insane.
So I don't want to say that like he, brought this movie back to the mainstream, but he kind of did. But like given all that, the reason I bring this up in the Criterion thing is that like there's not a ton to know. Like there's not a ton to read about this movie online. Like it feels like a really well-made story, but it's also kind of like a B movie in a lot of ways, like just like a vengeance, like a bloody vengeance tale, right?
You're right. It's packaged well in the sense that like the plot is fulfilled. There's no like loose ends, open stuff at the end. There's not much for interpretation here. It's like she's getting vengeance, she gets vengeance. That's it.
Because I wanted to know more about the background. Like I was looking on Wiki and I was looking at the IMDb trivia, and there's just not a ton out there. It is based on a manga by Kazuo Koike. I don't know how to pronounce it. Koike. So there's a Lady Snowblood manga. There's a sequel, obviously, that we're going to be covering on the Patreon feed that came out the following year, 1974.
It's interesting that they made a sequel too. That seems like very weird for this time.
Weird, because I have no idea what the sequel is going to be about, but at the end of this movie,
This is what I'm assuming.
So the
Go ahead, yeah.
daughter of one of the men who attacked and raped her mother and whatever, she pursues this guy and eventually kills him. Like he's like, I think the first one she kills, or he's in the middle of the movie somewhere, right?
Yeah.
His daughter then like chases after Lady Snowblood the entire movie to like get vengeance on her vengeance. And so at the end of this movie, you think it's finally like job well done, that she's killed the last person on her list, and the bride sense like cross the last name off, and she just kind of stumbles outside to the snow. It's like, oh no, she gets stabbed and left for dead in the snow. It's like,
she
oh
was
god,
already
like
dead. Like she was gushing blood. So I'm
Yeah.
like, you really did you get vengeance? This is like that was a cool thing about this movie too. Is like a lot of these like Lady Snowblood kills weren't very satisfying. And I thought that
How do
was
you mean?
the one guy she kills. She like kills with the other guy, right? So I'm like, okay, that's like
Okay.
cool, but like you killed another guy too. And then like the lady is like hangs herself, or we find out that the other guy hung her.
Yeah, she just slices her in half after the fact.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's like, okay, so she didn't really kill them. The one guy was like presumed dead, so she's like, okay, that's not really great. Oh, and like the guy that she like does kill, the one that has the daughter, he was like gambling and they were about to kill him anyways, and she's like, "Oh no, don't kill
Yeah, and
him."
he was just like a drunken buffoon.
Yeah, and he's like a drunken buffoon, so it's like, which one of these people were like did you like actually get, right? Like
Right.
none of them. What I was like, that's really, really cool because these weren't in a movie like this. You'd think like, oh, like she gets these like beautiful, glorious kills where she like gets to like tell them why they wronged her and like all of these things. It's like, no, man, these are just like asshole old people that she's like chasing down now, and they're like, okay, cool, whatever.
Because I don't think the movie adds enough commentary on like the nature of vengeance. Because I think that to your point, like if they did all those things, look at this, like you can get vengeance, but it's actually kind of just hollow gestures. Like that's maybe it, but like that would almost kind of be like if she dies at the end. It's like, okay, so she killed all these people, or like all these people are dead, even if it's not like satisfying kills. But then like what does she get for she's dead herself, right? So like she fulfilled her mother's revenge,
Yeah,
but then died herself, but then she is awake at the end. So just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what this movie is saying about vengeance. Cause like she doesn't get the satisfying, like, bride style, like you ruined my wedding, you killed my husband, or
yes,
whatever.
yes,
I'm going to make sure that you each die grisly deaths at my hand.
yep.
Yeah, they're all dead, but like, I don't know what I got out of it. It's just like, oh.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's like
And like, I don't mind that. Like, I think that's kind of cool, but
it
it's just
is.
like,
Yeah,
I don't know what the takeaway is necessarily.
yeah. But it made it much more interesting for me for them to be like very unsatisfying. If I was trying to get vengeance, this is like the last way I'd want it to happen. It's not fun.
Sure, yeah. So I've never seen the sequel, so we will find out in a couple days when we do that for the Patreon feed. Because I've never I saw this one a few years ago, and like I was saying, I had kind of deja vu for couple different reasons. But I genuinely have no idea if it was about getting the daughter. Okay, if it's about something else entirely, also okay. Like
Totally
I
fine.
don't know what to expect. Yeah,
And it's made by the same people, everything.
I think so. Like I would imagine, I haven't done any research on this, but I would imagine that by Criterion combining them together, it's not like just like also a year later. Like it's not like 10
You're
years
right.
later because
You're
there
right.
were other like someone else adapted the manga and there was an unofficial remake like 6 years later or 4 years later, something like that. Like other people told this story, but I think by Criterion bundling them together, and I think Maiko Kaji, I think is in both. Let me actually find out for sure. Yeah, no, she's in it, and it's the same director, Toshiya Fujita, and it's a little bit of a lower rating on Letterboxd than this one, but like not by much. Like it's still like a good movie. So
Interesting.
you want me to read the plot summary, or do you not
No,
want to
no,
know?
no, no. I want to go in blind. I hope that we get like a game of death situation where it's just like the last, like Rocky, right? Like where we get like the last clip of this one and that's her in the movie. It's just like that.
Maybe. I don't think. I mean, I have no idea.
We have no
She
idea.
was like 25 or 26 when this movie came out. This role was apparently like written explicitly for her. Like I said, she was an accomplished singer. She sings the main title song. She would come back, blah blah blah. She's great in this though. She's like
Oh
the whole
yeah.
thing is like she's like the most immaculate, beautiful woman that like people don't think is like a risk or whatever, and then she will like cut you down. Like even the people that she's not killing for revenge, like she opens the movie just like killing a bunch of dudes because like they're getting in her way, right? So it's like, oh yeah, shit, okay.
Yeah, I thought that her and the daughter both were great actresses in this and like very interesting characters. I'm excited for the sequel either way because if it's either of them, I'm sold. And yeah, she played a crazy ass role. Not even weirdly, but just like gorgeous, like both of them in like a very bizarre way to me. It's understated. That's what I'm trying to say. Like it's like a very understated. They're just like two very pretty women.
I think it would be cool to see if the second movie is like a cat and mouse game between the two of them because like they think they, in a weird way, there's a lot going on in this movie and also not a lot. Like it's a very simple revenge story, but there's also like a lot of elements that are at play and her having to find people and whatever. And so kind of having it being around like two people instead of like 6 or 7 or 8 people or whatever. Because like it's also kind of about the other guy that's helping her find people. That's like helping her write the manga, which I think is kind of a cool.
That
Like
was such
this
a
is based
weird
on a
twist.
manga and they're yeah.
This is such a weird twist. This is like another thing that I like was really excited about. All of a sudden the guy's like writing the story and I'm like that's strange. And then him writing the story plays into them finding the other ones by bringing them out because the story is getting popular. And like I was like, oh, that's like a very, very interesting plot device that I've never seen played out like this before. So
With absolutely no background knowledge, maybe I'll do a little bit more research for the next one. Like, I wonder how many like volumes of the manga or how long it had to run before they adapted this. Because like The Walking Dead has been on TV for like 13 or 14 seasons now or whatever, but there's like 140 or whatever. I don't remember the exact number. There's a lot, maybe more than that, maybe like 160, 170.
yeah,
That also kind of strayed a little bit, but I wonder if they're like, okay, like here's like 300 pages and like that's just what we're adapt. I don't know. Like I wonder how much of this is kind of true and how much is just like, okay, there's a character named Lady Snowblood in these books that is getting vengeance for her mother who was attacked and killed and whatever, raped and left for dead. We're going to tell her own story. Like I don't know, because like it didn't seem to be. There wasn't that information on the wiki because I really, like I was saying, I really wanted to find more because I wanted to see like where this came from and just I don't know.
yeah, and it could have been one of these weird things, like you were saying, like The Walking Dead or even like Game of Thrones or whatever, where like it's not actually finished yet.
Well, The Walking Dead is finished, but they finished, but they hadn't finished the comic when the show started yet. But now the
Exactly.
comic is over. Yeah.
So like like a trajectory of it, but like you don't actually know where the thing is gonna end. So
Lady Snowblood manga. Let's see here. Oh, interesting. Is this that? It it was serialized in a magazine called Weekly Playboy. It's an adult magazine, but it's not related to Playboy, which is weird. There's apparently like a regional Japanese Playboy, but that's not this. It's just called Weekly Playboy, and it was in the magazine from February 72 to March 73.
okay,
4 volumes, eventually published in 2005, 2006. 15 chapters in total, so 15 weeks probably. So like once a month essentially for like a year.
they even like chaptered some of the movie, right? So
Right. Which again is very Tarantino to like just steal that kind of story structure, right? Even though it's not necessarily like there's a little bit that's out of order here. Like they eventually, they go back and forth a little bit to like her birth and like her training and whatever. But for the most part, like it's kind of linear-ish.
yeah, that's why the beginning of the movie I was kind of like tossed around a bit because I couldn't figure out like when stuff is happening, like who's doing what, why, when. Beginning like after like a third of the way through the movie and we get past like the little girl parts, then it's very linear.
I was reminded at the end in the scene with the decoy that she kills, there's the two-way mirror that like I feel like there's no way that you would know that it's a two-way mirror. They're like that wall looks like it's not whatever, and they just throw like a stool through and like it's a mirror.
Yeah.
But I was reminded of the end of obviously your favorite movie that we ever
Paris,
covered
Texas.
in here, Paris, Texas.
Yes.
Where there's the two-way mirror, but it's like it's in reverse, right? Because it's like the call girl and talking to the man or whatever,
Yeah.
the John. Other than cop shows, there's not a ton of two-way mirrors, and then we see two kind of used for different sort of things in our movies.
Which is
in
funny
the last, 6
because
months or so.
we were just recently watching Clarice.
The CBS show,
Yeah, the CBS show.
is that good?
It's decent. You know what? It's filling a void for me that was left with Mindhunter.
Okay, yeah,
It has kind of a Mindhunter vibe. Oh, and the one of the warden guys from Orange Is the New Black is in it,
okay.
and Elliot Page is in it. That's Clarice, is Elliot Page.
Wait, no, Elliot Page does not play Clarice.
Yes.
No, there's no way.
Yes, they do.
No, Rebecca Reeds plays Clarice.
What? No.
Elliot Page is not in the show.
No way. Do they just look identical to me? Do I have face blindness?
Rebecca Breeds.
Who the fuck is Rebecca
Because what's
Breeds?
weird is that my friend, I don't remember, hold on. Bob thought it was Anya Taylor-Joy from Queen's Gambit. And I was like, no, not Anya Taylor-Joy, sorry. He thought it was Olivia Cook from Thoroughbreds. No, yeah, it's not Elliot Page.
What?
It's Rebecca Breeds, yeah.
That is so... Dude, they look identical in this show. Like, I've watched 3 episodes of it and was convinced it was Elliot Page.
No, Elliot Page is on the Umbrella Academy. Anyway.
I know.
Clarice is okay.
Okay, so the whole point of the Clarice story was I just saw a two-way mirror in that too. That's it. That was
cool.
But like in an interesting way that's not like at a police station.
I was thrown off at the end of this movie because, like, at the end when Kobue stabs her, when the daughter stabs her and leaves her for dead, it's in the snow. And for some reason, I thought there's some other movie that I've seen where, like, the Oren Ishii fight is lifted from at the end of the first Kill Bill. And I thought it was this movie, but it's not this movie.
No, we watched it. I think I watched it too with you. Yeah, there was very much a snow fight, like through the same pagoda center or whatever. You know what I mean? Like outside.
Her final fight in the snow-covered garden is a direct reference to the film. But no, there's another movie
that we watched that was almost like shot for shot the same scene.
No, boy, oh man, losing my mind.
I feel the familiarity that you feel, so I think that you're onto something, but I just can't help you.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know. This, wee boy, man, I don't know. What other notes? Any other notes that you have about this movie? Like, I feel like it's so. This movie is available on the Criterion Channel, also HBO Max. If you have
Hmm.
either of those, you can watch that for free. Like, you can stream it for free. You can also rent it for a couple bucks wherever you want to rent it. But I don't have ton of notes on this, just because like it's one of those where because it's subtitled, I have to pay more
I
attention, and
agree,
I can't
and it's
like
beautiful.
listen and take notes.
Them using like a very gelatinous beet red blood for all the
Mm-hmm.
blood is very cool because it's like very stark contrast to like the set and setting. Like a lot of things are like very gray, very white, and like the red that they used for the blood was like very bright red. Like I'm not a big like blood, gore, gushing kind of fan, but in this it was just like kind of proppy in a way that didn't feel realistic, but at the same time like worked very well for the color palette that they were using.
I don't mind generally gushing blood, but there are certain movies like, oh boy, there was a movie that I watched, I think it was like Machine Girl, maybe, where like it's done to comic effect, like really, but not like to be funny, but just like over the top, extreme, like hyper gushy, and I'm just like, ooh, this is too much for me.
Yeah.
That was also like a long time ago. Like I've lost a lot, even not that I was ever really sensitive back then, but like I have lost a lot of sensitivity, so maybe I'd be fine. But I think that this movie aesthetically, like you're saying, does a really good job, but also like like if you do slice dudes open or in half or whatever, like they're gonna bleed. So like there is like a certain level of realism here too, right? So
Yeah.
it's just form and function.
Something that we saw a couple times in this movie that I think that we need in Fast and the Furious movies is we don't have enough secret doors.
Secret doors. Okay.
Like trap doors, secret doors. Like the criminal's always getting away, but it's never like through a vent, behind a wall, right? Like I don't remember this ever happening. Do you?
I mean, there's the elevator shaft. There's the too slow elevator shaft. That's not exactly a trap door, though.
That's what I'm saying. I think maybe
Oh,
Tokyo
so you're also
Drift.
thinking like, what, yeah, Tokyo Drifter, right? Was that the one with the elevator like that's behind like with the
Yes,
planks?
things like this. Like we don't ever have like fake out doors and stuff, and I think that they would be very useful in the Fastiverse. Like, don't you think like Shaw would have had like one secretly? Like it's like always like playing with cameras and stuff. Fake doors would be great for this. So
Yeah, you would think that if Shaw was eating dinner, like a whole steak dinner in an empty warehouse, he would have a trap door somewhere.
right? Yes, that's what I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying.
But alas, I don't think we've seen any. I mean, like, yeah, Cypher jumps out of a plane.
But that's linear. Like it's out of a plane.
Yeah.
I want to see like Mama Shaw be like when she like comes to meet Dom, if she would have like came through a wall, right? You'd have been like, oh shit, she has like a secret trap door to this fucking bar. That would have been crazy, but no.
And she's fucking thirsty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm down for more doors. I co-sign on that.
The other thing is, although we've seen Fast and the Furious on ice, not on ice, but on ice, which
End of
also,
the Fate of the Furious. Yep.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Fast and Furious on ice would be fun too. We never see snow happening.
True.
They're on ice. There is snow, but we never see it actually snowing. And I think that's an interesting plot device because, like, we could have to deal with the cars in snow. The weather could change. Typically, it's just like, I guess it needs to be warm so that they look more beautiful.
Yeah, you need like more skin to show, right? You can't have them bundled up. Like they did the bundled up thing at the end of Fate. Like I don't know if we're gonna have the ski caps or whatever again. I don't know.
Yes,
Maybe.
I don't know. Them driving and like hitting snow would be like, oh shit, there's a blizzard coming. And I was thinking about that when I was watching this because there's like a lot of snow in this movie.
Because even like the beginning of the Avengers: Age of Ultron, like they're fighting that opening battle in the snow. So like they've done it in other movies too, where it's just like it's snowing now, right? So
Yeah,
I don't know.
it would be like a nice Christmas.
Oh yeah, we just need Shane Black to write a Fast and Furious movie
Oh,
because then it'll be set at Christmas and it'll be fine.
that would be perfect. Yes,
Yeah,
that would be great. I would really like that.
the first R-rated Fast and Furious movie because it's all just like delicious insults and quips and jokes and references and naked women because that's just what happens in those movies. And yeah,
Yeah, that would be perfect. I would really co-sign that. That sounds good.
who doesn't get the fuck? Any other notes? Any other thoughts? Or do you want to watch the trailer for Lady Snowblood?
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of notes either, but those were my interesting, weird thoughts that I was having while I was watching this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what we're going to talk about with the second movie because I don't know what it's about, but I'm just curious. Like, it's one of those where I'm kind of selfishly like, I just want to see this other movie. Like, I want to see this one again. I want to see the second one. I know that it's building toward a thing. It's cool to see, this actress, this director. Like, why
Strong,
not,
strong
right? So,
women. We don't see too many movies, especially in the 70s, with like a woman protagonist, right?
yep.
So that's cool.
All right, so let's watch the trailer. The trailer on YouTube was posted by CG Entertainment in May 2013. It's got 10,000 views.
This might be in
2 minutes and
Spanish.
45 seconds.
Ready whenever you
Oh,
are.
yeah, the text is in Spanish, so I mean, but whatever. 3, 2, 1, play.
I love these old school Japanese movie intros.
I always thought that, like, when Criterion remastered a movie, they put out a trailer, but it doesn't look like there is one. I couldn't find one, at least, so. See, like, there's this Duel in the Snow, which I looked up and I sort of scrubbed through while we were watching while I thought I was losing my mind, but, like, it's not what I thought it was. I think there's another movie where it's, like, a prolonged battle in the snow, but maybe I'm just combining my weird deja vu. I don't know.
No, I feel you.
And here's the attack.
What is this about, though? Why are they... I can't tell if that's, like, in normal times or that's, like, a preview. Like, did that happen before she existed or after?
Oh, like, you mean before Lady Snowblood existed?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the attack and kill of her parents. Like,
Okay.
The
farmers in the beginning, yeah.
Yes.
The cutting her in half is great. Also, this song is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, this is the one that... Well, this is the one I was saying before, that she sings, the lead actress sings, and that Tarantino put in Kill Bill. Flower of Carnage.
This is it. This is pretty badass. That little girl was really cute, too, actually. Just, like, as an actress, she was just cute. I like the way this trailer's cut together. This, like, wasn't in the movie with, like, their faces like that.
There was a little bit, like, at the actual attack, there was that, like,
Flashback.
close-up with a split screen with the name of the person on the bottom.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
As you're, like, learning who these people are and, like, putting a name to the face of the vengeance that will be enacted upon these people.
Her in, like, the white dress with, like, the sleeve cut and the blood all down it is, like, really just badass imagery, too.
It's funny to me that on this YouTube page, the movie that allow you to buy or rent is Kill Bill. It's not Lady Snowblood. It's like, hey, you're watching a trailer for this movie, but we know what you really want to see. You really want to see Kill Bill, so rent this here. I'm sure it's just like a rights issue, but it's also just very funny to me.
Yeah. I love all the eye magic in this movie, too. It's great.
Yeah.
Why does she throw him in the ocean, but then pick him up and leave him on top of the ocean, and then throw him back in the ocean?
I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. I don't get that. She, like, throws him where his daughter throws all of her baskets that she pretends like she made and sold.
Well, she made them, yeah. She just makes money by being a prostitute, right? So.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. All right, that was a Lady
That
Snowblood
trailer
so...
showed you nothing. I mean, it did, but it also didn't. I don't know if it was just because it, like, wasn't dubbed or something, or not.
At least it wasn't in Spanish, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so the Letterboxd game, the final game to play, the Letterboxd game. For reference sake, Mad Max Fury Road, one of the most popular films on Letterboxd, has been seen by 757,000 people, 757,449.
Okay.
Lady Snowblood from 1973, directed by Toshiya Fujita, starring Meiko Kaji and Toshio Kurosawa, has been seen by how many people?
It's old, but it's a Criterion Collection, the Tarantino link, and people on Letterboxd. I'm gonna go... I just have, like, a feeling, like, 26,000.
You are startlingly close. 25,033.
Oh, are you serious? I was gonna go 25 and I changed it to 26.
Well, yeah, I mean,
It's still
remarkably
close.
close. But if it was Price is Right, you would have lost. So let's just keep your ego in check.
Thanks.
But out of those 26,000, 25,000 people, how many have it in their top 4 of all time?
4.
Way too low.
Way too low, really? A lot of people love this movie? That's good.
Average rating of 4. Most common rating 4.
15?
Way too low.
65.
Way too low.
Really? 100?
147 people have this in their top 4 favorite movies of all time.
That's insane. That's way higher than I expected. That's like a disproportionately large...
It is. Clicked on a bunch of them because a lot of people have also reviewed this movie, and I was trying to find people, and there's like it's all over the place, and not a lot of people, believe it or not. Like, I thought there would be like Kill Bill in this, and a lot of people like I only saw Kill Bill like once or twice, so like no. But we're gonna go to Ojitos Lositos.
That's kind of a cool name.
Letterboxd.
I like that. Yeah.
I like watching bad bitches fuck up gross old men is Ojito's tagline. Reviewed it 6 days ago, actually. Wow. When you look up bad bitch in the dictionary, there's an image of Lady Snowblood there. 5 stars.
That's a great review. Fair.
So Ojitos has Lady Snowblood as their favorite movie of all time, #1, but 3 other movies in the top 4.
And if he
One
loves
of which,
bad bitches that fuck up old men,
yes, one of which we just covered for Film Club.
we just covered for Film Club.
This is going to put you to the test. Can you remember the name of the movie we just talked about?
Was it a cartoon one?
It was an anime.
No, I don't remember the name of it.
Even though I pointed out to you, I was like, hey, this is a movie that we've gotten in the Letterboxd game before.
Yeah.
Perfect Blue. Perfect Blue.
I wouldn't have gotten
is Ojito's third favorite movie of all time.
Okay.
Number 2. So what is the movie that you would assume is in a lot of people? I just mentioned, but you would assume is in a lot of people's top 4.
Kill Bill.
Now, what is another equivalent to that in a way? Not a samurai movie, but an equivalent. And I'm trying not to just hand out a silver platter. An equivalent that is something close to our hearts.
An equivalent to Kill Bill that is something close to our hearts.
This is a very weird, roundabout, twisty clue because I'm trying not to give you the answer.
Is it by Tarantino as well?
Uh-huh.
Is it Pulp Fiction?
Nope. That's not really... I wouldn't call that akin to Kill Bill.
Is it like Inglourious Bastards?
No, close to our hearts. Think close to our hearts.
Close to our hearts. Hateful Eight? Because
You are missing the most obvious answer here.
Kill Bill 2.
No.
Another Tarantino. Which Tarantino is close to our... Oh, Death Proof?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Boy. Okay. Yes, because it's like Death Proof is to car movies what Kill Bill is to samurai movies, essentially.
Very, very fair.
And then the number 4 movie on Ojito's list is a movie that Brian would be able to cover on the aforementioned High School Slumber Party.
Okay.
Brian, I do not believe has covered this. I think he has been waiting. Not that it would necessarily help you, but it is a classic. I want to say it's based on a book for sure, and I think it was this author's first book.
Interesting. Because I was going to guess like Ferris Bueller, but I think he did Ferris Bueller.
This is this author's first book, and he has done Ferris Bueller, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay, it's based on...
Book published in 1974. Movie came out in 1976. Movie was also remade about 7 or 8 years ago.
And it's a high school movie, but based on a book.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I need another clue. It was remade. It was made twice.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We've had books by this author in the Letterboxd game recently that drove you and someone, maybe Brian, I don't remember who the guest was, absolutely crazy.
There's
also a sequel to this movie that I don't think people like. Yeah, no, the sequel's terrible reviews.
Is it by the same guy that wrote The Shining? What's his name?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, what's his name? We were actually just talking today because we're driving home this weekend, and Rachel was like, do you want to listen to a book on tape? Like, we need to pick the book that we want to listen to, like, while we're driving.
Sure.
And I'm totally blanking on who wrote that.
He's only, like, the best-selling author of all time.
Yes. And he also wrote It. And
uh-huh.
So, is it It, if it's a high school movie? No, that's
No.
grade school. What's his name to begin with? Can you tell me his name?
No.
No? You just want me to, like...
I refuse to tell you the most popular author of all time's name.
Damn it, I can't think of it. You know what I keep thinking? I keep thinking R.L. Stein is what is in my head right now. And it's
not that.
Obviously not, yes. But he wrote a movie, like a high school movie. Fuck, if I knew his name, I would be able to think of more of his books.
It's his first book.
It's his first book.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what his first book is. Christine?
Nope. Alphabetically, you're close.
Alphabetically, I'm close?
Yeah.
No, I don't know then. What is it?
Stephen King's Carrie.
Did he also write Christine, or was I just saying Christine and thinking Carrie?
No, he wrote Christine.
Okay, cool. So he wrote both of them. Okay, nice. Yeah, Stephen King. Fuck. Why couldn't I think of Stephen King's name tonight?
You're getting, for someone who somehow got the number basically right, you have lost all sense of everything in terms of just, like, grasp on, like, literature, I guess. I don't know where. Like, the Shawshank Redemption, when you guys were like, I'm like, it's the best movie of all time considered by many. You're like, I don't know. I'm like, written by Stephen King. You're like, I don't know. So,
dude, I had no idea Stephen King wrote Shawshank Redemption.
Well, now you do.
Now I do. Yeah, Stephen King though, good shit. Yeah, but it's on days too. It depends on like whatever day we're recording. Like some days, like I'll a random one, and then some days I'm just like, I lose like one person or a whole section of my brain for no reason.
Well, if you want more Lady Snowblood, come back on our Patreon feed for Lady Snowblood Love Song of Vengeance, which came out a year or two later. And then next week, for everybody on the main feed, we're going to be rejoined once again by Heather Antos to talk about the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. We are going back in time to go forward in time to talk about the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Keep an eye out for Linda Boyd, Ms. Boswell.
That's cool. Heather finally gets to Tokyo Drift. I'm curious to see what she has to say about it.
The linchpin of this entire lap.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying
a lap that we thought was going to have F9 in it, which will not have F9 in it. So the timing was poor, but also it is what it is.
No, it's not that far off, though. I mean, like,
no. If it sticks.
If it sticks, it's not that far off. But I'm curious to see how Heather feels about this, because she seemed to like Too Fast, right? In a weird way. So she might like Tokyo Drift. I can't tell.
I don't know. Well, there's no Vin Diesel really in it. I know it seems like she doesn't like Vin Diesel or Paul Walker, but not that she's going to like Lucas Black, though, right? So
maybe she does. Who knows? I don't know.
Ooh, I don't think so. We'll find out, though, next week. But any other thoughts about Lady Snowblood or anything before we come back on the Patreon feed for Love Song of Vengeance?
No, I thought Lady Snowblood was pretty good, and I don't want to remember what the fuck that movie was that has like full fight snow scene, because now I'm thinking about that too. If you know, write
email family@cageclub.me. Yes, please. Like, either I'm going to remember it before, like, as I'm editing this before it's out, or it's not a real movie, or it's like this movie or something. But I don't know.
No, I feel like there was one that was like dead on to what.
You know what I got to watch? Everything is a remix. Tarantino. All right. So for all things Too Fast, Too Forever, you go to cageclub.me, facebook.com/TooFast2Forever, or @TooFast2Forever on Twitter and Instagram. Email us, family@cageclub.me. Come back on the Patreon feed in a couple days for the sequel to this movie, Lady Snowblood Love Song of Vengeance. And then come back next week for Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, available to everyone. Store at toofast2forever.shop. I think things might be on sale now, or maybe not. I don't know how long the sales last. Probably not by the time you're hearing this. I genuinely don't know how anything works over there. Thank you for listening. Come back next time. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe too.
And we'll tell you all about it.
See you